right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupagus show. I am Lupagus, and shocker, Minnesota Vikings make zero moves at the trade deadline. Actually, overall, it was a very quiet day in the NFL when it came to the trade market and the deadline approaching and passing. Before we hop in that, be sure you guys subscribe to our Patreon if you have not done that yet. $2 a month gets you a mystery video a week, a monthly drawing for One Bar and Lupagus swag, and a shout out. So again, $2 a month. Come on. It's nothing. It's nothing. All right. So let's talk with Minnesota Vikings not making a move at the deadline. What does this mean for the rest of the season? Well, number one, it means we are stuck with Mike Zimmer and the current roster. The chance was basically yesterday to blow this thing up right now, start looking towards the future, acquiring draft capital, moving players. But apparently the front office, the ownership has made the decision to ride this thing out. And obviously all the money they've invested in this team this year, they're 3-4. They're looking at it from the perspective that, hey, we got 10 games left. We can turn this thing around. Fans look at it differently. Fans look at this team, say, hey, you just lost to a backup quarterback at home with a very pathetic, gutless effort on offense, horrible play calling, horrible clock management. Let's just, let's just hop right into that. You're stuck with Mike Zimmer. So they're not going to can Zimmer anytime soon. This thing is going to drag out. Who knows? Will it turn positive? Maybe, probably not. Will it get uglier? Maybe. It probably will. The Vikings keep losing. I mean, they're at Baltimore this week. Then they go across country to Los Angeles to play the Chargers. Then they got the Packers at home. Could easily lose those three, be 3-7. This thing could get downright ugly where players are quitting, not putting any effort forth, and basically cashing in on the season. So huge risk of that happening. And maybe at that point, do they make a move? I don't think so. They probably just stick with Zimmer, let him ride this thing out. Because really, who on the current staff do they want to see come up and maybe get a shot at coaching? I don't think you're going to hire from within. And then I also think with them not making a move today, it does feel like Rick Spielman's job is probably going to be secure as well, whether or not they stick with Zimmer. You think if they're going to blow everything up, maybe they would have done something with Spielman, but we'll see. I think everything they've done right now just points to sticking with things status quo, grinding this thing out. And like I said, things could get very, very ugly. Or they, maybe some miraculous way the Vikings turn this thing around and this current group can push them to a playoff spot where, again, maybe they get into the playoffs, somehow sneak into that last, was the 7th seed now. But even so, you got to think the Mike Zimmer era will come to an end at the end of the season. Just the way the game was coached. I mean, so many of these games have been coached this year, but again, no moves at the trade deadline means that we're stuck with this group for the rest of the way. So accept it. Let's ride with them. Let's live and die with them. It's all we have to do. I guess the only silver lining here is that we didn't trade any more picks to try to make this current roster better. There were some who were clamoring for us to go after a cornerback. That didn't happen. So yes, we lost the 4th round pick for Chris Herndon. We got a 7th round back in the Stephen Weatherly deal. Luckily, we didn't move any more picks. So we have what we have moving forward. Maybe after the season, we'll acquire some more. But again, this roster is going to be what it is. We're going to have Kirk Cousins. We're going to have Mike Zimmer. We're going to have Bashaud Breeland. This is it. And today, not making a move at the trade deadline shows us the intentions of the front office here. So Minnesota Vikings fans, those of you guys were hoping for change, hoping for things to be blown up today, didn't happen. And I think that was kind of what everybody expected. So, all right, we'll see what the Minnesota Vikings can do from here on out, but no new faces are happening. No blow-ups coming anytime soon. So I guess all we can do now is keep our skull in our hole.